Breaking news! Germany's diamond on the rise is ready to take European football by storm. At the moment, Florian Wirtz is arguably the most exciting 20-year-old in Europe. He can do everything. From scoring goals to linking up play and some magical stuff, Wirtz has become a star name on the Leverkusen team sheet. But the question remains, can Wirtz live up to the hype and become even better than the star name he's been compared to? At the start of the 2020-21 season, Bayern Leverkusen were in a bit of a situation. See, they just lost one of their most promising talents, Kai Havertz, to Chelsea for a club record fee of $80 million, meaning they'd need to find a replacement very soon. And with that kind of money in the bank, you'd have probably been expecting them to look at a star name. But instead, that season became the rise of the next big thing out of the academy factory. With Havertz gone, this was Wirtz's opportunity to step up, and he took it, breaking records in the process. Now, Wirtz had already been in the Leverkusen youth team for a couple of seasons, and he had impressed too, even getting a debut in the Europa League. But now, with an extra slot in the team opening up, Wirtz was ready to show the world the age was just a number. He was pumped to hit on the big stage. At 17 years and 15 days, Wirtz became the youngest player to play for Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, and 19 days later, he made history again. By scoring against Bayern Munich, it made him the youngest goal scorer in Bundesliga history at the time. Damn! When I was 17, I was playing Xbox in my grandma's basement. His series of impressive performances had become so good that in December, Leverkusen extended his contract with the club until 2023, and by the end of the 2020-21 season altogether, Wirtz ended his major breakthrough campaign with 8 goals and 8 assists in 38 games, and this was just on the club front. At international level, he was living the dream. Wirtz made his debut for the national team in a World Cup qualifier, still only 17. And now it was clear the future held a lot for Germany's talented youngster. In the summer, Wirtz earned a call-up to the under-21 team for European Championships in Hungary and Slovenia, and in the semi-finals against a Dutch team, many people expected to go all the way. Wirtz showed his class with a brace to knock them out and send Germany to the final, where they beat Portugal and were crowned champions. What a season Wirtz was having! Coming into 2021-22, the plan for Wirtz would have been to keep the form going, prove he wasn't just a kid with hype around his name, and in his first 30 games of the season, he'd notched up a combined total of 24 goals and assists. And there were even calls for him to be included in Germany's World Cup team to Qatar later in the year, which would have been the ultimate dream for Wirtz. But unfortunately, that dream never materialized, because in March 2022, Wirtz experienced the most devastating day of his young career. In the match against Cologne, Wirtz's biggest fear became a reality. He tore his ACL and was set to be out for at least 6 months. It was like his world had come crashing down, going from being one of the most promising kids on the block to being sidelined for a long time, and the games he'd be set to miss would be huge. Even though he was voted into the Bundesliga team of the season in this campaign, the disappointment of ending it so early would have been crushing him. But still, Wirtz didn't let this get to him, because despite being so early on in his career, he'd fought his way to get to the top, and the hard work wasn't going to stop him now. So he battled hard for a comeback, and by December, he was back. It did take him a while to get his rhythm back, ending his mid-season return with 4 goals and 8 assists in 25 games. But that was mainly because Wirtz was experiencing a tactical change that would transform him into a beast. A couple of months before he returned, Leverkusen was in danger. They dropped form so bad that they were 17th on the table, winless in their Champions League group, and the owners were done waiting for things to change. So they sacked head coach Gerardo Sion and replaced him with Xabi Alonso. With Alonso now at the club, he sought to create a tactical system that would change how the club lined out. See, Alonso wanted his team to dominate the game from minute 1 to 90, a high press with wingbacks who'd be able to run up and down the pitch at will. But Alonso also knew for his plan to work, it was all centered on getting a creative genius just behind the attack to link up the play, the midfield, and bag the numbers when needed, which is why he couldn't wait for Wirtz to get fit. 2022-23 was Wirtz's warm-up season, if you like. He was just returning from an injury that almost ruined his career and was trying to get used to the way Alonso wanted him to play. Even with this, though, he still managed to win the Europa League Young Player of the Season award. But by 2023-24, with Wirtz putting in the hard yards in the summer and preseason, He became a different type of player to what the league was used to. Now he was ready to explode. Alonso's team was complete. Wirtz was back. He'd added new talents like Granit Xhaka and Victor Boniface to the team, and the unity they all had was incredible. So amazing that they even subscribed to Footballers without Alonso asking them to, because they knew he already had. 2023-24 was Wirtz's season to cook, and my boy turned the Bundesliga into his kitchen and burned it up. 11 goals and 10 assists in 29 Bundesliga games, 35 goal contributions in 42 games in all competitions this season, and this doesn't even tell the full story. In the current 2023-24 season, Wirtz has been a key figure in Leverkusen's rise to dominating everything. He's completed the most passes into penalty area in the league this season, and despite his undeniable ability on the ball, off it, Wirtz is an asset too. Out of the players that have contested the most ground duels in the league, Wirtz is number one. He's also averaging 12.3 kilometers of running every match, putting him in the top 4 in the Bundesliga category. And perhaps the most impressive thing about Wirtz is the maturity he's got on the pitch. The guy's wiser than he looks. Remember the tactical setup about Alonso I mentioned earlier? Yeah, it's deeper than it looks. Alonso plays a 3-4-2-1 system with defenders that are comfortable on the ball and wingbacks pushing high to keep the opposition in their half. But the real workload is at the top of the pitch, where Wirtz is central. Instead of using traditional wingers in his setup, Alonso prefers to use 2 number 10s who are comfortable on the ball and have a high IQ when it comes to linking up space and understanding the game. Something Wirtz has been proving he's got in abundance. On the international scene, with Julian Nagelsmann now in charge, Germany was going through a process of rebuilding the national team. And at the core of the attack, Nagelsmann wanted Wirtz to play a key role in it. He'd already added another one of Germany's brightest stars to the mix in Jamal Musiala, but watching Wirtz's ball, there's no way he could leave him out. And now he had to figure out a way of getting both on the team at the same time. This season, Wirtz is featured for Germany in every international game played. But it was in March that he made his mark with Die Mannschaft by making history. This goal against France was the second fastest goal scored in international football history. Wirtz's form this season has been amazing. The guy can do no wrong. And as it is, he's starring in the Leverkusen team that has finally broken the curse of Leverkusen. Despite their rich history in the German top flight, when it comes to the ultimate one, the Bundesliga, Leverkusen had, up to the start of the season, never won it. The closest they came was in 2002, when they somehow produced the most insane reverse treble I've ever heard of. They bottled the league with just a couple of games left, lost the DFB Pokal final, and lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid. This season, though, they've been on a different level, knocking Bayern off their perch, and their incredible form had them coming into the match against Werder Bremen a couple of days back, knowing that they just needed to win to seal a history Bundesliga title, and Wirtz was determined to make sure this one didn't slip off their hands this time. He bagged a hat-trick to seal the title for Leverkusen off the bench. Damn, you know you're that good when you've even got stadium stewards leaving their jobs to celebrate with you. This is all the proof I need right here. Wirtz is bound to be iconic. His playing style is as unique as his abilities too. He's traditionally an attacking midfielder, but he can play off the left or the right when needed. And his abilities have drawn the comparison to one of the greatest players in his position, Antoine Griezmann. Just like Griezmann, Wirtz knows how to find the space and when to attack it. Has an energy tank that seems like it can keep him running for days. And now he's added the numbers to his game. Wirtz is all set to become the next version of the French Drizzy, or even better. Either way, he's definitely a superstar on the rise. How do I know this? I knew since the day he subscribed to Footballers. Only the OGs do.